All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I am Tyler Ellison, and I am joined by my amazing friend and host, Yahaira Vargas. Yahaira, thank you for being here with us.
Yes, thank you. I'm happy. New things coming through, and welcome everybody.
Yes, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. We are going to be diving straight into some Ryo channeling, and we're going to start to actually bring into the Ryo channelings many new elements, many new themes. You may notice, for those of you that have been following me for a while, that my appearance is changing. I'm like wearing glasses a lot. Sometimes I have like my head covered. I'm going through personally I haven't shared this with anybody, but I'm going through a very strong like blending process with him where my personality and his are starting to mesh. And I actually am like disguising myself slightly because it helps me let go of my sense of Tyler. And when I let go of Tyler, then I can more easily become this blended persona. And that's sort of the level I'm at right now with this channeling. And it's been really fun. It's helped me clarify a lot in my life. It's helped me to heal a lot in my life, this blending process. And we're going to be sharing, all the new information with all you, because with this blending, there's a lot of new teachings. There's a lot of new downloads. So you all will be getting that fresh from the source, right from Ryo's mouth. Well, technically, this body's vocal cords, but you know what I mean. fresh from whatever that stream of Sasani consciousness is. We're going to be having our upcoming Ryo event. For those of you that enjoy coming to these events or would love to come to these events with us on May 28th, we're going to be doing that at 1 p.m. and that is a Sunday. So we invite you all to join us for this. It's going to be a 2-hour event, give or take. We normally go a little longer, actually, because the trances get quite deep. But in this event, Ryo is going to deliver a special teaching. He's going to be able to take your questions. They're very in-depth Q&As that happen during those events. And then there's going to be an activation meditation that Ryo leads you all through to help you really embody the power of the teaching. And these events are very strong. They're group portals. Most people that come to these walk away changed. Every time I do one of these events, I walk away dramatically changed. And it's because we are all together focusing on the same meditation, the same teaching, and the same overall theme. So it's like a big launch point for everybody. So please come and bounce with us on this cosmic trampoline of Ryo Sasani Ascension. We'll see you there on the 28th. And we're going to do a channeling right now for all of you, where Ryo is going to come through. He's going to speak through me, and he's going to address the nature of that upcoming event on the 28th. So you all know what he's going to be talking about. And then we will take your questions here on YouTube. So in the chat, please type your questions in. Yahaira is going to select the questions both spontaneously, randomly, and intuitively. There's a secret muse that guides Yahaira's question picking. So we must accept what the universe determines as the questions that get picked. So do your best. As you say, Yahaira, may the most aligned,
exactly.
Yeah.
Get picked.
There we go. So just align with the Sasani vibe. See what happens. See what happens. You might get picked. All right, my friends. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to these words. I'll now go into the state and I'll bring Ryo through, and he will come out and speak to all of you. All right, it is our species' highest joy and passion to be able to interact with you all in this way through this channel this day in our upcoming transmission, which we are titling Pyramidal Power, we shall be describing to you the transition that the Atlanteans went through during the collapse as they migrated not just to Egypt and to other continents, mainland continents and island continents, but we will also talk about their transition into other dimensional planes and other dimensional realities. We shall talk about how the Atlanteans are actually still in contact, how they are still in communication with each and every single one of you, and how many of you are, linearly speaking, the future self to some of these ancient Atlanteans, and how you are a part of a story, a dream, and in a certain sense, a plan that you have been weaving as the oversoul. And the Atlantean self is very aware of this plan, is very aware of this trajectory. And these Atlantean selves are eager to guide you. The Atlantean selves, in many ways, as we have said, have parallels with the civilization that you call ancient Egypt, Kem, and we will talk about the parallels between Egypt and Atlantis, and we will talk about how a type of triangle exists, a phenomenon. Think of a triangle with 3 points. You have the idea of Atlantis, you have the idea of ancient Egypt, and you have the idea of extraterrestrial open contact. These 3 things are incredibly linked. These 3 things are incredibly connected, and we shall be describing this in full for you all. Now, when we say in full, what we mean is we give you about 90%. The other 10% is for your higher self to give you as you apply the information and as you go into the meditation with us during the event. During that moment, your higher self gives you the remaining 10%, which represents your particular connection to these both past and future civilizations, of course, linearly speaking, for they all exist right here, right now. They all occur simultaneously alongside this present moment physical reality experience that you appear to be having now. And that is what allows for you to communicate across time, because it's not as if you're actually going to the past or going to the future. It's like you are in a house and you're going to the next room. Your room's theme is one time period. The other room's theme is another time period. It's that simple when you can see multidimensionally. And that's what we will be assisting all of you in doing during this event, because it will be much more than just communing with these alternate selves, these counterparts. It will also involve the activation of certain energy centers that allow for your divination abilities and your clairvoyant abilities to begin to increase, to begin to grow. You'll begin to experience in your lives, in your bodies, more power, more energy, and more awareness as to your particular story and relationship with these 3 points that make up the multi-dimensional triangle that symbolizes the new era, the new age, the new aeon that you're all moving into. These 3 things are coming together to birth that portal that is your new earth. So we will be talking about that and more in the upcoming transmission, Pyramidal Power. And now we make ourselves available to each of you for your questions, for your comments, for anything you would like to explore with us.
Awesome. Thank you, Ryo. Hello, how are you?
We are ecstatic and delighted to be able to have this co-creative exchange and dialogue with you this day. And how are you doing?
Oh, I've been exploring what is love. Like I've been trying to not understand it like conceptually or what I feel towards my family and friends, like, but at the bottom, like what is love?
Yes, we have a question we'd like to ask you.
Yeah.
What isn't love?
I guess everything is love.
That's one way. Yes, we're not going to claim that one way is right, though, here, because you can look at certain things in your reality. You could very easily say, well, that sure doesn't look like love. However, when you go a little bit deeper, what is every negative action? Fundamentally, on the human plane, nothing more than a call for love. Sometimes it is that people do not get love from their parents or their peers, and that can cause them to act out, to lash out. Sometimes it is a matter of a person simply not giving love to themselves. Maybe they're getting all of the love from everyone around them, but they refuse to give it to themselves. And that can cause someone to lash out in pain and anguish. So even the things that you consider to be acts of violence or acts of horror, these are still calls for love. There's such a deficiency in the battery of love for some of these people that this is just the only way that makes sense to them. They have to lash out. Why does that make sense to them? Because when you are deficient in love, you are deficient in intelligence. We will repeat, if you are deficient in love, you are deficient in intelligence. Therefore, you cannot think straight. Therefore, if you are deficient in love and intelligence, you're more likely to lash out and create harms in an attempt to get what you need, even though we all know that's not really the most effective way to get what you need. But to someone in that state, that might make sense. To someone whom is starving, taking food from someone else might make sense. But what if you taught them how to eat the food that floats around as particles of light in the air? Well, now that person may not have to resort to thievery. Yes. And what we're saying here is it's important to teach those whom you encounter whom are deficient in love. And when we say teach them, we don't mean lord over them as if you're some kind of noble guru whom knows everything. That's not what we're saying to do. What we're saying to do is when you find that these people come to you, and they will come to you, we remind you, if you're on the spiritual path, you are a healer of sorts. So people whom are in need of healing will come to you. It's important that you recognize it when it happens. Now, that doesn't mean, again, you have to teach them as some kind of authority, or you have to heal them as some kind of energy healer. But what it does mean is apply your principles, apply your meditation practice, apply everything that you have in that moment. Because that moment is of ultimate significance when you're interacting with the person whom is deficient in love. Because you have a unique ability to help them remember the connection. And if your connection is very strong, all you have to do is feel your connection and touch them. And it may be enough. So these are the things we have to say in relationship to what is love and in relationship to what is not love. Fundamentally, everything within the physical reality is made of love, but even more fundamentally, everything in the physical reality is made of joy, and even more fundamentally, everything in the physical reality is made of ecstasy, and even more fundamentally, everything in the physical reality is made of bliss, and even more fundamentally, everything in the physical reality is made out of what you would consider to be a blending of blissfulness, emptiness, and intelligence. These three things together form all of the other sensations. It is the human universe, it is the human plane, it is the human realm where love is the baseline positive vibration that is needed for the human species and the earth to flourish. In other realities and higher ones, it's joy. In higher ones, it's ecstasy. In higher ones, it's bliss. So the standard of positivity increases as you increase in your vibrational realm. Yes, as you ascend from one realm to another, you have to raise your frequency even more because that baseline is higher. And on Earth, you're training in unconditional love because that's the human baseline.
Wow, thank you.
Of course. You're very welcome. Thank you for your question.
So, first question, what happens to us after we physically die?
Well, your overall vibratory frequency will shift, and it's almost as if you de-densify yourself. You could say it's almost as if you are right now anchored into your physical body. It's like you have grabbed your physical body, almost like tree roots, yes, that extend down into the earth and then grab the soil. It's like you've done that with your energy. You have wrapped your energy in powerful ways around bones, around organs, around sinews. through cells. It's like you have weaved an energetic quilt through your entire structure. And the more integral that quilt, the more powerful your vitality and the more energy you will have at the moment of death. So we'll talk about it like this. If this energetic body that you are in, this aura that you are in, is integral, if it is strong, if it is spiritually active, then when you die, what happens is it is like you let go of all of those physical dimensions of the body that your energy has weaved itself around. You put those down, and for many people, it's almost as if they float up. This is very common because you're leaving the physical body. So there's a type of connection to the physical perspective still. So many of you, when you die, even though you're going into another dimension, that might translate as you floating up. That might translate as you floating around the room a little bit. That might translate as you flashing in and out, being in the room for a little bit and then being in another dimension, then being back in the room. All types of things can happen. Now, if you are a very advanced soul, what most advanced souls will do is they maintain lucidity at the moment of death. So it's like they haven't died. The body has died, but they're still awake. They're still aware. If you die like this, you can do whatever you want. If you die like this, you can do whatever you want. This is awakened death. It's like going into a lucid dream. Yes. So this is a very powerful way to exit the physical body. And this is something, of course, that is done through natural means. At the end of life, when you have reached the end of your journey, this is the type of exit strategy we recommend. Exit in a state of meditation, exit in a state of prayer, focusing on the reality or experience in spirit you would like to shift to. And at the moment of death, if your energy body is powerful and strong, and if you are a spiritual person, then it will be. If your energy body is strong, hold on to that image. Hold on to that feeling. Feel all the love that everyone is sending to you. Feel all of the goodness that you have been given in your life. Feel the you that was born and now recognize you at the end of the life are guiding the you that is born. You are his ultimate, you could say, physical future self. You know the whole story. You can tell him or her where to go, what to do. In that moment, you are in a state of ultimate power. You can rewrite your entire timeline at the moment of death. So many things can occur. We have barely scratched the surface here. As we go deeper into these teachings, we will further elaborate on the death practices. We will further elaborate on the, you could say, death rites. We will further elaborate on what happens when you go into those dimensions. But we're giving you that right now to begin with. There's some first step things embedded into our response here. Basic meditation practice, yes? The ability to conjure as much love as you can, yes? These are two basic skills. Focus your mind and focus on the feeling of goodness until the feeling of goodness is all that you can possibly feel. In other words, let the sun of goodness melt the ice of resistance. That might take a little time, but hone those two skills. And you will be in a very useful position to be in, especially for the transition from physical to non-physical whenever that day comes for you in the big way, as you say. But we remind you, you can benefit from this skill all the time, because if you're able to easily let go of physicality, you can do this when you dream. It can allow for you to go deeper into the astral plane. It can allow for you to go deeper into the spirit realm. So in your waking life, in your normal life, you will get benefits from such a practice. It will actually help you to feel more alive, to feel more vital. So that is something up and coming. We will describe that in more at a later transmission. Thank you for your question.
Next question. Can you help guide us in maintaining sovereignty and safety in my country, Israel, which both are a challenge and a theme right now? I'm going to do a ritual for these themes.
Sure. We are going to say something that might sound a little strange, but the oversoul that makes up the Jewish peoples has extended itself now into every country. It has extended itself into every, you could say, DNA ethnic group. So the souls of this Jewish lineage that has existed for so long now are incarnating all around the world. They are incarnating into many different countries. They are incarnating into many different ethnicities. What is important now for people in Israel is to recognize that all people spiritually are Jewish. All people spiritually are God's people, the chosen people. You must all recognize you are all the chosen ones. You are the chosen one. She is the chosen one. He is the chosen one. We are all the chosen one. Yes? When you choose to be yourself, you are the chosen one. And when you help others to become themselves, you help them to recognize they are the chosen one. And what is the chosen one? The one who has awakened the God or the Yod He Vav He within them. So if this type of mentality can be embraced, it will bring great peace, not just to Israel, but to the neighboring countries. It will require strategy and, of course, delicate balance and playfulness and wisdom in terms of how the population and government of Israel uses this information. But nevertheless, that is the mindset we would encourage you all to adorn, because that's how you're all on the same playing field. Because if you're on different playing fields, it's like you're in different worlds. How can you possibly have a conversation? If you're looking at two completely different realities that you can't agree upon, how can you find a common ground? Well, you have to make one in your mind. And it's already there, because what we say is truth, because you are all source. You are all the Yod He Vav He. Therefore, you are all God's people. Yes. So never forget this, and it will assist you in awakening that source connection within you, and it will help your neighbors, your national neighbors, to feel that source connection within them. And that can turn into alliances. That can turn into teamwork. That can turn into international friendships. Remember, you're stronger together. You are stronger together. So thank you for receiving this.
Next question. How do I truly believe that I create my reality?
By acting like it's real. You have to act like it's real. It's like a magic trick or hypnosis. If you're sitting there saying, I can't be hypnotized, this won't work, well, you're not going to get much of an effect, are you? You might get some, it might be slight, but you won't get too much, because it's like you're putting in two different colors onto your page. Yes, let's say you're painting. Yes. When you say, I believe I create my reality, let's say you're painting in blue. And then when you say, well, I don't think I'm really creating my reality, life just sort of happens to me, it's like you're painting in black. And maybe there's a lot of black. Yes, and it's sort of drowning out the blue. So what we would advise is start to very slowly increase your belief in I create my reality through acting as if that's real, through acting as if that's true. And then the amount of blue on that page will begin to increase until the black and the blue are even. They're matched. Then you will be in a position where you won't have to believe you create your reality. The black and the blue, the belief and the doubt will actually merge. And you'll know you create your reality. You will know it. You won't have to worry about believing in it. You won't have to think about believing in it. You'll know it. Once you know it, it's permanent. That's the gift of knowledge. If you really know something, you can never forget it, because what you truly know, once you know it, it changes you forever. Yes? Once you really know something, you cannot unknow it. That is the gift of knowledge.
Next.
Does this answer the question sufficiently for you?
I think so.
Thanks.
How does the soul choose in real time on when to die? Like if a person just died from a car crash, at which point did the soul choose to die?
It's been in the working for a while. The soul chooses multiple potential deaths at the moment of birth. Your whole life, in a sense, is already written, but it's not as if it's set in stone. Think of it like this. Imagine you wrote the story of your life from beginning to end. And then you said, wow, that was a great story. But what if I made it a little different? And then you wrote it again, but a little different. And then you did that 1,000 times. Each time you rewrite the story, it gets more and more different. Then you do that infinite times until you have infinite versions of your life with infinite ways you could exit, with infinite ways you could transcend, with infinite ways you could experience the infinite myriad of things that are relevant for your themes of limitation. So you have, as you know, a great deal of control over how you shift through the parallel realities. And you exercise that through mastery over your state of being, your signature frequency, or rather your signature frequency channeled through what you would call your superficial frequency. Because your signature frequency cannot be changed. That's why it's your signature. But your superficial frequency, this is more of your aura, this will shift based on your thoughts, your emotions, your moods, your desires. So the key is to get that superficial energy field, that superficial frequency to resonate with your signature frequency. That's what is truly needed. So that's what we're assisting you with. And that's also what contact asks of you. Yes, to be that signature frequency self at all times, to hone in on that positive state that allows for you to naturally receive the downloads, the insights, the synchronicities that are needed for your next steps, and that assist you in appreciating and valuing your current step. If you don't mind, can you ask us this question one more time? There's a detail in here we'd like to hear one more time for further elaboration.
Yes. How does the soul choose in real time on when to die? Like if a person just died from a car crash, at which point did the soul choose to die?
Thank you. Now that we have laid the foundation, we'll answer this second part. When is it actually chosen? When do you actually choose to leave? So this is, again, determined by the signature frequency. So let's say, for example, you are finishing up most of your soul contracts. Maybe you're doing it really early. Maybe you're in your 20s and you're finishing up most of your soul contracts to the point where energetically, it's like you only have a year's worth of karma tethering you to the earth. Remember, karma is not what people on your planet think it is. Karma is what keeps you on earth. Karma is your connection to the incarnational story. Positive karma is what you call a more pleasing connection or attachment to the story. Negative karma is what you call more of a negative attachment to the story. But positive and negative karma really are just the energies created by your positive and negative belief systems over different lifetimes. That's really what it is. Now, to the oversoul, you are completely outside of incarnational karmas. Now, to the incarnated selves and to the soul, there's a certain connection to karma. For example, you could say your karmas, coupled with your free will, are what you use to create that superficial energy state. So it's a part of you. Now, let's say, for example, again, you only have about a year's left. What will likely happen is in the astral plane or in a meditative state or in some type of visionary experience, a being will contact you or this person that we're referring to, this individual. And the being will say, all right, you only have so much time left here because you're evolving rather quickly. Would you like to stay? If you stay, what we can do is we can gather the themes from what would have been your future life, and we can give those themes to you now. So without having to die, you can continue in this life if you really like this life. And now you'll be exploring the themes of a future life. And that's like being bumped up a grade. Yes, in your educational system, when someone goes from kindergarten to third grade, it's sort of like that. That can happen. And some souls will say, well, that's okay, but you know, I think I have had enough here and maybe it's time for something else. Some souls may say this, and then that will activate the idea of that particular death portal that's about a year out into the future, and their current frequency state will align them with that particular one. But it's chosen nevertheless. It's always chosen by you. In the physical reality experience, you might not always know you've made the choice, but on the soul level, on the psychological level, you have made that choice. Yes. And then normally Once you are out of the body or have the experience of being out of the body, many of you generally feel better. Many of you generally feel like you have shed some type of weight and you understand, oh, wait a minute, I chose this. Oh, I don't need to be upset. This is what I needed. And you remember that arrangement you have made. Yes. Now, we say most of the time because certain types of deaths can create which you might consider to be interesting or complex effects within the energetic plane. For example, death in a car crash can disorient a soul. Now, the higher self, the spirit guides, generally speaking, will place a type of insulative bubble of energy around that soul at the moment of the impact, so the soul is not disturbed. And then usually very quickly, that soul is then brought out of that situation. Yes. And sometimes that person has actually died moments before the impact. These types of things are rather common. Now, if a person, again, does not have a lot of spiritual power, then they may not be fully pulled out of that situation, and the soul may bear some type of impression or effect from that experience. But in general, many of you are connected to very high-level spiritual beings. Many of you have powerful spiritual entities within your ancestry, and many of you have extraterrestrial counterparts that are doing everything they can to assist you. When you call upon these beings and ask for their assistance, they will assist you. And if you do this every day, if you ask for their assistance each day, then they will be in your aura each day, which means that should a person die unexpectedly, they will at least have those powers active within them that initiates the, you could say, insulative bubble. So if there is some type of challenging death, their soul can be less impacted or less affected from that experience. So the soul can maintain more of its preferred signature vibration. That's the benefit of this type of thing. And that will eventually become more common. Eventually on your planet, you will return to the idea of conscious death, where your species will just at a certain point choose to ascend. Individuals will choose to ascend at different times. Yes. So all types of things will happen as you become more energetic. Yes, because that's the way things were during some of those periods we mentioned in the opening monologue.
Nice. Next question. What kind of beings inhabiting the Andromeda galaxy, and how's their life like? And what's the relationship between Andromeda and Anunnaki?
Excellent question. So there are a few things to unpack here. So we're going to play with this a little bit because the Andromedans are very playful. How do they play? Similar to how the indigenous peoples of your Amazons play. They are very intense. They can be almost like warriors at times. They can be beings of incredible beauty and power. And they are beauties of and beings of powerful knowledge, wisdom. The Andromedans are one of the most evolved beings within this particular part of the universe. Yes. And in many ways, your Milky Way galaxy is being vibrationally attuned. So your Milky Way galaxy becomes more like Andromeda. We'll discuss it in the following way, because there will be a transmission we deliver where we talk about the Anunnaki disseminations. We will talk about the idea of the family tree of Anunnaki, but the Andromedans are on that tree. So we'll describe it like this. The Anunnaki, in a sense, become Andromedans. They evolve into them. The Anunnaki evolve into many different species. The Anunnaki don't really stay Anunnaki. But that's a conversation for another time. That's a whole storybook to open up that we don't necessarily have the time for here. So we will be doing a transmission on the Anunnaki soon. So we'll get into that more. But the Andromedans tend to be very powerful, as we had said, they represent both feminine and masculine beauty, both balanced and fully awakened. You could say they represent the higher self of the planet that you call Venus. So if you want to understand what the Andromedans are like, study the mythology around Venus. They can go into the highest of realms or into the lowest of realms if they wish. They are masters of love, but they have been involved in war and conflict because Venus is both a planet of love and war. So the Andromedans represent the higher self, the higher dimensional expression of Venus once Venus has blended love and war. So the Andromedans right now are assisting all of your people in learning how to do that.
Next question. I heard you were talking about how changing name can influence your destiny, but I also heard changing your name purposefully to get benefits can backfire. Is it true?
Well, sure, anything can backfire if you believe it's going to backfire. Sure. And of course, you must remember that even if consciously you're saying this will work and you have 100% certainty, that 100% certainty can be a mask. It can be a mask that masks the ignorance of your belief that says this will not work. So you must be cautious if you ever have blind confidence in something with a sense of refusal to doubt. Yes, it is useful to try to poke holes in certain things that you believe at times, because that can make your belief system stronger. Yes, the things you know to be true, see if you can disprove them. And what you'll find is once you know something to be true, it cannot be disproven. Keep this in mind. Once you know something to be true, it cannot be disproven because it has become a part of the fabric of your reality. One moment. What is the second part to this question?
But I also heard changing your name purposefully to get benefits can backfire. Is it true?
Well, the main thing to keep in mind is the more you know about name making, the more you know about ancient language, numerology, code breaking, and astrology, the more you know about poetry and symbolism, tarot, the more of a master you are, the more of a creator you are, the less likely it is to backfire because you will know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing and you just pick a name, sure, there's the potential for it to backfire, absolutely. But keep in mind, if you're really drawn to the name, if the name fills you with love, and you're open to learning about the name and playing with the name and exploring the name's energy and themes, then that's something to go into. That type of thing won't necessarily backfire on you, because what's a backfire really? Something backfiring on you really is what you call being given an unexpected challenge when you're expecting something else. So something backfiring implies that you have an expectation about what that name is supposed to do for you. So you're already starting off in a demanding state. You're demanding something of life. You're saying, life, you must give this to me. And sometimes, sure, life will give in to demands, but there's gentler ways to go about getting life to play with you. Yes?
Yes.
One moment. So when you allow for yourself to remain open to the challenges that the new name brings you, you won't see the challenges as a backfiring. You will see the challenges as an opportunity to grow. So do not fret about backfiring. However, that doesn't mean just go in blindly with the name. We would recommend really meditate on that name. Make sure it's a name that fits you. Imagine yourself living life with that name, and in your mind's eye, go through the entire day. See your family calling you by that name. Think of yourself thinking in your own voice with that name as the sense of character that you are. Try it on. Really get to know it. We would advise calculate its numerology and see if it matches, for example, your life path number. If your name and your life path number match, that's a very simple and basic way to create a very strong connection between your soul and the name you're wearing. So keep that in mind.
Next question. Can you explain death by suicide? What happens then?
Similar to death by accident, it can be disorienting, yes, and can, in a sense, leave a soul both scattered and unconscious until they are able to regain a sense of clarity. So it can be like when someone is intoxicated with alcohol and someone hits them over the head with something and they pass out. They wake up when they're going to wake up, yes? It might be a while. So they may stay in a soul stasis for some time until they come to. Now, there are spirit medics, there are spirit guides that come in to assist. And again, the more spiritually connected that soul is, the more alive that connection is, the more support, the more nourishment, and the more guidance there is for them in that delicate state. Yes. So again, it all depends on the nature of that person's energy, how these things are really going to affect them. But in general, suicide ends up becoming a snake eating its tail if a person's not careful. Because what will happen is after the suicide, usually because the soul has not integrated all of the themes, because it has run away from them. In some situations, again, some situations, suicide is fear. Some situations, suicide is what you call euthanasia. So it's important to talk about differences here. Yes. But in situations where the suicide is avoidance, fear, rejection, running away, this oftentimes will cause that soul to then orbit to another lifetime where they can explore the same themes, but perhaps in a gentler way. However, they now bear the feeling of having murdered themselves. Now, they might not feel that at first in their new lifetime, but once they hit puberty, it will start to turn on. And this is why a lot of people on your planet, once they become teenagers, start to get very depressed, because many people on your planet, yes, have had past lives where that was the exit, where either they had harmed themselves to death or someone else did. So that's why some of those feelings come up. But that, again, is a conversation for another time. We know some of this can get quite heavy. And we know that when we are together, it is easier to hold things that are heavy, and it makes us stronger. Yes. Our species sees death as something to smile at, as something to play with, as something to love as you would love a cherished friend, and to see life as the same. We see life and death truly as the same. For us, life and death have simply blended into existence. So when we speak of these things, we speak with this type of penetration into the nature of the matter, because when we see the nature of the matter, we can see that there is nothing the matter. We can see that it is just a continuation of your story. And for many of you, we are there with you and we assist you. For many of you, we do this. And for many of you, you have actually done that for us in certain ways. Some of you have evolved to such a level that you have actually become some of our civilization's spirit guides. For as we had said, it's not a one-way street. When we are being channeled through the channel in front of you, there is also a transference of information from the channel's consciousness to my reality. And for us, it's like receiving ancient wisdom from the past, secret, esoteric wisdom and power from the past that we could only access through this type of link. So that's what we mean. For those of you that have the Sasani link or the hybrid link, you have actually played the role of spirit guide for your counterpart. You're the ancestor spirit. Just as you pray to your ancestors for wisdom, power, and guidance, that's what we have done to summon contact with all of you.
It's 1:55 your time.
That's all right. We can go for a few moments longer.
Okay. Do you have any recommendations to prepare for sleep, bedtime, that we can not only be rested, but wake up accessing the energies and connections we have in the available to us in the dream state?
One moment, please ask that again.
Do you have any recommendations to prepare for sleep, bedtime, that we can not only be rested, but wake up accessing the energies and connections we have available to us in the dream state?
Very long question. We're going to simplify this. Essentially, yes, go to bed again in a relaxed state that allows for your psychic senses to be gently activated. So many of you, when you will attempt to lucid dream, may actually find you overstimulate yourselves. You give yourself too much of an energy activation before bed. To ensure successful lucid dreaming, lay in bed. Ideally, have the neck flat. Don't sleep with a pillow here, because what are you doing? You're closing your throat chakra. And where do you think you project from when you dream? If your throat is closed, yes, because of the pillow pushing your head up, yes, or your sleeping position closes it, you're not going to be able to project out of the throat properly. So before going to bed, make sure that you do not have a pillow under your neck. We would recommend instead have it below your knees. Yes. And see if you can get so relaxed that you fall asleep like this. Now, you have to be a master of relaxation to do that, especially if you're used to sleeping in a certain position. So what we would recommend first is try to take naps like that. Try it on your floor. Yes, try it on your floor. Just lay on your back on your floor, relax your body all the way. And from here, with your neck flat on the floor, just begin to inhale a blue light up from the earth as you lay on the floor, and then exhale any stress and tension down. So you're laying with your spine on the floor and you're not moving. We're just moving our hands here to demonstrate the movement of the energy, but you're not moving. You want to feel your body relax. You inhale, bringing blue cooling light up, feeling relaxing your body, and exhale that light down. Stress and tension goes down, pulling you off, relaxing the soul, the spirit. Think of it like this. If a space shuttle is attempting to be launched, it needs a solid foundation. Yes, if there's turbulence, an earthquake, a vibrating earth, this is going to mess up the launching of the space shuttle. So the soul and spirit is like this. You have to calm yourself very deeply before sleep. You have to be emotionally empty before you fall asleep, completely empty, if you want to achieve clear lucid dreaming. If you do not, what will happen is you will end up dreaming about the unconsciousness of your emotions. If you do not empty yourself of your emotions before sleep, you will have emotional dreams. And because emotions are based on beliefs, not knowingness, your dreams will be unconscious and you won't be able to lucidly dream. So you must purge yourself of thoughts. You must purge yourself of emotions. You must purge yourself of everything you think you are before you fall asleep. And then you will have clear dreams. Otherwise, you are falling asleep with attachments to the lower realities. And those are not realities of pure, clear light. Those are realities of mild distortion or greater distortion. So you'll end up having dreams you normally don't remember, or dreams that are mainly about the emotional dimensions of your experience. That's fine. And that can be healing. That can be good. It can help you to process things. But ultimately, what is needed is that you empty yourself before sleep so you can go higher than those levels, into the levels that are called the realms of clear light. This will activate the spiritual perceptions of the third eye and crown, and that's what allows for you to recognize your dreaming. This is what allows for you as a soul, once you have died, to awaken to your God self and to then do whatever you want. So if you can wake yourself up like that in the dream, you'll be able to wake yourself up no problem at the moment of death. Yes. The key is fall asleep conscious. If you fall asleep conscious and relaxed, then this will be something you can master. Remember, it must be done without trying. It must be done without striving. Do not strive to lucid dream. Do not strive to relax. Do not strive to fall asleep. Just let yourself go through the motions and let yourself give into relaxation. Let yourself surrender to sleep. Let yourself dissolve into clarity. This is a process of allowing rather than a process of attempting to force or control or to do. That will give you long-term success with the lucid dreaming. So start with naps in the way we just mentioned. Once you can comfortably fall asleep whilst lying supine with your spine on the ground, once you can do that, then you should be able to do it in your bed at night, no problem. So practice with some lucid dreaming nap time in that way. Relax yourself fully, fall asleep conscious. Write down what happens as soon as you wake up. Do not neglect this. That is key here. If you write it down, physically write it down, pen and paper, with the dream journal, if you physically do that, you're going to start to have more lucid dreams. It's like a multiplier once you start doing that. So we thank you for that question.
Next question. How can I truly believe in my success and truly shift to believing that if I just focus on helping people, things will work out and the money will take care of itself? I've obsessed.
One moment. We are at 2 o'clock. So we're happy to take this question. It is a bit of a long one, but what we'll say is the same thing we said to the person earlier. You have to give into your success first. You have to act like it's real. If you are waiting for yourself to be successful before you go out and be successful, then you'll never be successful. So you have to go out and be a success. Be successful at something. If you are not successful at things, you will not believe in your success. You will doubt your success. So you must prove to yourself that you're successful. And you can only do that by challenging yourself and going out and doing things in the world. What things do you do? The things that are connected to your purpose. Give yourself to your purpose. You're automatically a success. You don't have to try to be a success. You don't have to strive to be a success. You don't have to run away from being a failure. Just fulfill your will. Perform your thelema. Do without wilt. Follow your passion. These are all the same things we just said. Do this every day. A tree makes oxygen every day. The sun shines every day. Why are you not yourself every day? Why are you not whom the source made you to be? And as you answer that question, we want you to appreciate how nonsensical it is. Because remember, whatever you are in the moment is what you need to be. Whoever you are in the moment is who you need to be. Whether you are a happy or an unhealthy tree, in this moment, however you express is how you need to be. So in your life, be constantly pursuing your passion, endlessly. It's the only thing worth doing. Everything else is secondary. To us, everything else is illogical. You understand? To our species, when we see you doing things that are not your passion, it makes no sense to us. We understand, of course, why you choose the things you do. But if you were to see yourself in the big picture, it would be, again, like the Bashar had said, and we'll paraphrase here, a very large person trying to fit into a very tiny box. It's just not going to work. It's not going to happen. Sure, you can spend your life trying to be that other person, but it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. So that's why we say it's illogical. It makes no sense. So if you want to activate your genius, your true intelligence, your true power, your true success, you must demonstrate it. You must demonstrate it. And sure, be a little scared of it. If you're scared, if you're nervous, that's fine. But don't let that stop you. Don't let fear be your master. Did fear invent you, or did your mind invent fear? Your mind invented fear. Yes, it's produced by your body, by your hormones. You have made it. You are its master. So you must speak to it with loving, compassionate authority and guidance. Yes, because fear is full of fear. It's scared. It can't move. It's like it's trapped in its own ice prison. So you must be that higher force that calms the fear down, that nurtures the small child within you that is afraid or anxious. But you must also maintain that power and wisdom of the parent so you can boldly move forward each day following your passion and your joy, not letting the fear stop you, but rather showing the fear, hey, fear, look, I told you there's nothing to be scared of. Look, we're doing it and things are getting better. Look, I'm feeling better. Look, I am having better relationships with people. Look, I'm finding out all these things about myself. Yes, it's challenging, but fear, you have shown me that I can overcome challenges because I was able to overcome my negative attachment to you. So thank you, fear, for showing me how strong I am. And now because I've overcome you, through making you my friend, I can now overcome any challenge by making it my friend. And that is the gift of fear. So use your anxiety and your fear as an opportunity to practice self-compassion and self-empowerment, and then make sure every day you are doing those things. It is important. It is important for your earth and the longevity of your people. It is important. So you are very, very welcome. With that being said, we will allow for the channel now to return to a normal state. We thank you for the wonderful hosting you have performed. Thank you for taking the questions. And thank you everyone who has joined us this day and who has shared your questions and your comments. It is always so wonderful to interact with your people. Our unconditional love and appreciation to each and every single one of you. Good day. Amazing, everybody. I hope you had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun doing that. That felt great.
Awesome. We had people from Brazil too here, so I was like chatting there.
Yahaira, it worked. Your Brazil powers. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
so we hope to see you guys the 28th on the live stream. Join us.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
really deep. Like these teachings are really deep. Like they're very advanced. Like, I go through them and I'm like, oh my God, like truly it's another level.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I feel it too. And I love it. It kind of like, how would I put it? It wigs me out in the best way because it feels so casual because I do it all the time, but then I'm also aware of how advanced it's getting. And I'm also like, just kind of like quietly watching, like kind of how people are watching like AI quietly get built. That's how I feel with this channeling. I'm like, okay, let's see where this goes. Cause I can feel that it's like, as it's advancing, the information's getting more transparent, which means to me, that's a sign of contact more proximal. That to me, that equals ships closer. That's what I'm gathering from it. That's why it's getting more advanced. And they had said too, Ryo had mentioned this. He said the closer the Ongdave get, and these are beings connected to both, he had said Saturn and recently Sirius. He said they're links to these two. He said they're of Sirius, but Saturn is like their satellite, like they anchor there and then project here. What he said was that these beings, as they get closer physically, the side effect is like almost instantaneous remembering of reality and truth. It's like their presence is like penetrating clarity, which is what I like about them, like a being where they're so advanced you can't like hide, like nothing can be hidden from them. It's like all seen. And it's like, I don't know, man, it's a powerful thing. It's like setting everything in a positive way ablaze with the clarity of love, right? It's like just everything is seen with that in its fullness. And it's like purified, just like that's how I think of it. Like, because we can see everything in terror and be like, oh no, but you can also see something like a Zen meditator and just see it. And it's there, you breathe, and then it's gone, right? And that's really what we're being asked to do here. It's when we try to run away or push or control that energy can't move. But it's really like, watch it, and it's gone. That's really what's happening. And our human story is everything in the middle, trying to figure out how to let it move. We're just trying to figure out how to let it go. We're so used to grabbing things. We're like, oh, I got to hold it. Oh, I got to push it. Oh, I got to touch it. Oh, I got to like, we love it. But, you know, it's like, you know why we're so into these things, the phones? Because we're so into this thing. This is just a little that. That's why. That's why.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
No,
But
and
anyway,
people please share the video, share the information, subscribe and like the video. It helps us grow and continue doing this work for you guys.
yeah. Thanks so much, Yahaira. Appreciate it. Yes, please share. We'll see you all on the 28th. My friends, family, our unconditional love to all of you. And we'll see you all soon. Oh, join us for Galactic Wanderlust. If you want to be with me, two amazing friends, Pam and Alex, a bunch of ETs, cool people in the woodland areas of Massachusetts, August 3rd through 6th, then please come to our upcoming retreat. It is going to be amazing. We have all the details on the last live stream we did. So just go to my lives and you'll see it there. We're going to have more updates. This is going to be crazy. Like, please come. I think you'll enjoy it. I am really pumped for whoever shows up because it's going to be some destiny manifested phenomenon. So I'm looking forward. And that's my final update for today. And now thank you for all the attention you have graced me with. My love to you unconditionally, my friends. and we'll see
Bye-bye.
you all soon.
Love you.
Love y'all.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
Patreon, right?
Oh, let me message you about that. 1 second. We'll
They're
see y'all
asking you.
soon. Oh, they're
Oh,
asking here.
yeah.
Let's see, what time is it? 1:10. Yeah, we're gonna go on to Patreon right after this. Actually, thank you for the reminder. Thank you so much. Everybody, we're gonna do a 5-minute break. We're gonna be on Patreon at about I'm gonna say 2:15 Eastern time. So it's about 5 minutes from now. We are gonna be posting a live stream link there. It's gonna be in a Zoom room. So find the Zoom link in Patreon. You can join this live stream. We're gonna be continuing this. We're gonna go for another 45 minutes just about. So come on in, join us on Patreon. We'll see you all there, guys. And thanks so much for the reminder, Yahira. Thank you all.